Okay, let's dive into something. Well, it's genuinely kind of bizarre, almost uncomfortable, really.
Mhm.
What if that one thing, the absolute staple you grab when your kid spikes a fever, the trusted name, the stuff we probably got as kids?
Yeah, like Tylenol.
Exactly. What if that was smack dab in the middle of this huge,
Yeah.
like, billion-dollar controversy about brain health?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely hitting close to home for a lot of people. It's that cognitive dissonance thing, isn't it?
Totally.
And you really got to look at the numbers here. They tell this incredible story about autism diagnoses not that long ago, something like 1 in 100,000 kids.
Yeah, way, way back. And now
Yeah.
it's unrecognizable. We're talking 1 in 31 children diagnosed.
1 in 31.
It's a massive kind of terrifying spike,
Mm.
like super fast.
And naturally, the first thing you hear, the sort of standard line is, oh, we're just better at diagnosing it now.
Yeah.
We spot it more.
Right. Better screening, more awareness.
But, okay, if that was the whole story, right? If this wasn't actually increasing, shouldn't we see, like, nursing homes just full of older folks with autism?
Yeah, you'd expect that, wouldn't you? But we just don't see that generational cohort.
Yeah.
It strongly suggests something else is going on.
Something environmental, maybe, acting as a trigger.
That's the argument. Something's hitting a wider group, maybe a more vulnerable population now.
Which kind of leads us right into our mission for this deep dive, then. We're going to try and unpack these really charged claims connecting that common painkiller, Tylenol,
Acetaminophen, yeah.
to maybe genetic issues, susceptibility, and also look at the whole financial side. The critics who say there's big money trying to, well, shut down the research.
Okay, let's do it. So Tylenol, the acetaminophen. It's like the poster child for safety, right? Gentle, works for everything, headaches, period pain, fevers.
It's the go-to. But here's the kicker. The detail, it kind of gets buried. Tylenol is apparently the #1 cause of acute liver failure.
Number one.
Yeah. We're talking over 80,000 ER visits a year just for Tylenol issues. And often, it's accidental overdose.
Accidental. Right, because it's not just in the Tylenol bottle, is it? It's hidden.
Oh, yeah. It's in, like, over 600 different things. Cold meds, flu stuff, headache powders. You could easily triple dose yourself without even knowing it.
Oh, man. So how does it actually mess with the liver? What's the mechanism?
Okay, so it comes down to this stuff called glutathione. Think of glutathione as your liver's bodyguard, right? The master antioxidant. Its job is detoxification, clearing out junk.
The bouncer for the liver club. Got it.
Exactly. So Tylenol comes in and basically it uses up the bouncer. It depletes the glutathione.
And when the bouncer's knocked out.
Well, the liver's defenses are down. And this toxic leftover bit from the Tylenol, the metabolite, it just hangs around because there's no glutathione to clear it. And that's what starts damaging the liver cells.
Leading to, the irony. The hospital situation.
Yes. The ER irony. It's almost darkly funny. You show up with Tylenol poisoning.
Livers fail.
And what's the first thing they pump into you to save your life?
Don't tell me. Something related to the bouncer.
Pretty much. N-acetylcysteine, or NAC. They give you NAC because it helps your body quickly make more glutathione. It's the antidote to Tylenol's effect.
Okay, wait. If the hospitals know this, if NAC is the standard fix for Tylenol overdose because Tylenol wipes out glutathione, why isn't something like NAC or just a glutathione booster already in the Tylenol pills or those combo cold meds?
That is exactly the multi-million-dollar question the critics are asking. It seems like a known risk that could potentially be mitigated upfront.
Huh. Okay, so how does this liver thing connect back to the brain, to autism?
Right. So the core argument isn't that Tylenol causes autism directly. It's more like it's a massive trigger. It pushes someone who's already genetically susceptible over the edge, especially when their body's already stressed, like during a fever or infection.
Okay. But before we leave Tylenol completely, it's its main job, right?
Yeah.
Fever reduction. Every parent panics when the thermometer climbs.
Instant panic button. Yeah. We're so trained to just shut that fever down immediately.
But maybe we're fighting the wrong battle. Like, what's the point of the heat anyway?
It's your body's own defense system. Fever isn't the bad guy. It's this really smart immune reaction. The heat helps basically cook the bugs, eliminate microbes faster.
Like turning up the oven to kill germs.
Pretty much. So when you suppress that fever with meds, the argument goes you might actually just drag the illness out longer.
Yeah.
You're stopping the body's turbo boost.
So what are the alternatives? ridiculously simple things people used to do.
Right. It's mostly about supporting the body, not suppressing it. The big one mentioned is just a lukewarm bath. Evaporation cools the skin naturally, simple physics.
Okay, no drugs needed there.
And then there's basic immune support, vitamin D, zinc, maybe elderberry if it's a virus, even willow bark, where aspirin originally came from. Natural stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. How do we even know if any of this stuff is safe? The sources had this great kind of sarcastic analogy for safety studies.
The Coke versus Pepsi research. Yes.
Explain that one. It's aimed at vaccine studies sometimes, but it applies more broadly, right?
Exactly. The critique is basically this. Sometimes researchers will compare one active drug or vaccine, let's call it Pepsi, to another active drug or vaccine Coke.
Instead of comparing Pepsi to, like, plain water or a sugar pill.
Right. Instead of comparing it to a truly inert placebo saline solution, sugar pill, maybe just the aluminum adjuvant in a vaccine context, whatever is supposed to be inactive.
So you compare Pepsi to Coke.
And you might conclude, well, Pepsi isn't any more dangerous than Coke, which sounds okay, right?
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
But it's totally different from finding out if Pepsi or Coke is actually safe compared to doing nothing compared to water. By comparing two active things, critics say you can't really see the true risks of either one.
So stuff gets labeled safe, but maybe hasn't passed the real test against nothing.
That's the claim, that this method kind of obscures the baseline risk.
Okay, so this all feeds into what some call the perfect storm idea, doesn't it?
That's right.
Not just one thing causing problems.
Exactly. It's like compounding factors. You've got maybe a genetic vulnerability, plus environmental hits, maybe aluminum, maybe pollution, and then you throw in something common like Tylenol, especially during a critical developmental time. Boom. Perfect storm.
And there's a specific gene they focus on, right? The MTH.
MTHFR, yeah, MTHFR gene. And this isn't some rare thing that maybe 40% of people have some kind of mutation affecting how this gene works.
40%? Wow, that's huge. 4 out of 10 people walking around with this potential vulnerability.
And it's a critical gene because it controls methylation. That's the whole process your body uses to metabolize and use folate, vitamin B9.
Folate. Okay, important for DNA, but also detox, right?
Hugely important for detoxification. So if your MTHFR gene is kind of wonky, your whole detox system is weakened.
Okay, so you've got this weakened system, then you throw Tylenol into the mix during, say, a bad flu.
Right. Your liver's already struggling maybe because of the MTHFR thing. Then Tylenol comes in, wipes out the glutathione.
The bouncer's gone again.
He's gone again. And that toxic Tylenol bit hangs around even longer, potentially causing inflammation, damage, maybe even to the developing brain and nervous system in a kid.
And there's data on the folate connection, too.
Oh, yeah. They found folate deficiency in something like 56% to 75% of autistic brains they studied. So clearly there's a problem getting or using this vital nutrient.
Which leads to, okay, this part was wild, the cow's milk connection. How on earth does dairy fit in?
I know, right? It sounds totally out of left field. But here's the theory. Cow's milk has this specific protein, a folate receptor protein.
Okay.
And apparently, its structure is almost identical to the human folate receptor protein, the doorway that lets folate into your cells, especially brain cells.
The body gets confused.
That's the idea. It's like an autoimmune case of mistaken identity. In some people, maybe those genetically susceptible ones, the immune system sees the cow protein, thinks invader, makes antibodies. Yeah. But those antibodies accidentally also attack the body's own human folate receptors, because they look so similar.
Whoa. So the body locks its own doors against folate getting into the brain.
Effectively, yeah. Blocking the nutrient uptake. And get this, it's not just theory. They cite data showing 71% of autistic kids tested positive for these specific antibodies against the folate receptor.
71%. Okay, that's a compelling number. So you've got the Tylenol trigger, maybe the MTHFR weakness, and this potential dairy autoimmune thing all piling on.
That's the picture they paint. Tylenol plus dairy antibodies plus MTHFR weakness equals a potential pathway to neurological issues for some kids. That's how they try to explain that massive spike we talked about.
Man, that's layers upon layers. Complex. But if the issue is blocked folate receptors, can you? Like bypass it? Is there a fix?
Well, they mention a specific synthetic folate medication. It's called leucovorin. Now, usually critics aren't big fans of synthetic vitamins, but this one gets mentioned.
Why this one?
Because it apparently handles multiple metabolic pathways and might be able to bypass those blocked receptors, getting folate in through a different door, so to speak.
And did it? And it worked?
The trial data they cite is pretty remarkable. In a specific subgroup of kids, they claimed the synthetic folate boosted IQ scores by like 20% to 50% compared to a placebo.
20 to 50%. That's huge.
Yeah.
It really shows how critical that folate pathway is for brain function.
Definitely highlights the impact of that deficiency. Okay, so now we got to tackle the really controversial part, the money.
Right. The elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Why isn't this stuff, the Tylenol link, the folate issue, being researched more or talked about more openly in the mainstream?
Well, according to the critics in these sources, it's because there are billions, literally billions of dollars on the line.
Billions. How?
They argue that mainstream institutions, big pharma, they have a massive financial interest in keeping the status quo. They point to things like the lack of legal liability for certain products, especially vaccines, and these revolving doors where people go from regulating the industry straight into high-paying jobs within the industry.
The regulator to lobbyist pipeline.
Exactly. The claim is it creates the system where, well, regulatory capture is basically inevitable. The watchdog becomes part of the pack it's supposed to watch.
So we need to be careful here. Just report what the sources allege about specific people and their ties.
Absolutely. We're not saying these allegations are proven fact, just reporting what's claimed. So they break it down. You've got people cited for alleged direct patent royalties. Dr. Paul Offit is often mentioned, vaccine inventor, reportedly gets royalties from the rotavirus shot. Critics see that as a conflict when he advises on vaccine policy.
Makes sense why critics would point that out. Then the revolving door folks.
Scott Gottlieb is named. Former FDA commissioner, then pretty quickly joins the board of Pfizer, acts as a consultant. Critics jump on that kind of move.
Okay. And political or academic ties.
Dr. Peter Hotez at Baylor is cited, linked to the vaccine complex financially. Senator Bill Cassidy is mentioned for allegedly taking over $1 million in pharma pack money.
Wow.
And the list goes on. Dr. Mike, Dr. Lena Wen, all cited for alleged consulting gigs, pharma grants, corporate roles that critics claim compromise their objectivity.
So the conclusion from these sources, these critics, is what?
Yeah.
That pushback against people questioning the safety narrative isn't really about science.
Yeah. They basically claim that when you see fierce attacks on people challenging the status quo, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a prime example. They use that over, say, 95% of that pushback is actually driven by PR firms, funded by Big Pharma's financial interests, not by independent scientific debate.
It definitely raises that fundamental question about trust, doesn't it? If the regulators in the industry are potentially tangled up financially, and there's limited liability, who's left doing the truly skeptical independent research?
It's a tough question, and the big takeaway here really isn't about some simple conspiracy, you know? No single villain twirling a mustache.
Right, way more complex.
It's this messy interaction. You've got individual biology, the MTHFR gene, maybe other genetic factors we don't even know about yet.
Plus the environment pollution, aluminum, who knows what else.
Right. And then you add in these super common things like Tylenol that mess with fundamental body processes like detoxification. And that combo, that perfect storm,
is what these sources are pointing to as a potential major driver behind that huge spike in diagnoses.
Exactly. It forces you to kind of step back from the easy answer of science is settled and just look at the sheer complexity of it all. Biology, genetics, environment, it's complicated.
Which leaves us with that kind of nagging final thought, doesn't it? If we keep hearing the science is settled, but the people saying it are alleged to have all these financial ties, who's actually asking the basic common sense questions?
Like, why are we seeing this explosion in diagnoses? What are we missing? What's hiding in plain sight?
Something to definitely chew on next time you reach into that medicine cabinet.
For sure.
Until next time, keep digging.